man with such positivity.
Fuck!
Don't get too excited.
The best tricep exercise in history.
G'day team, welcome back to another awesome episode of Training with Another Hybrid Athlete. The whole point we're on this journey is that you and I can train with the best to be the best. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, all the way in the Great Britain, man himself, welcome Fergus Crawley.
Hi, I'm Fergus Crawley and welcome to Jackass.
Fergus Crawley, like me, played rugby, but then he became an elite powerlifter and turned hybrid athlete. Strength and endurance, I would say 15 years ago, never went hand in hand. You'd be surprised to see someone super strong and someone who could go the distance in the same breath of fresh air. Fergus thought otherwise. He has completed incredible feats, including a 600 kilo across the board lift, along with ultra marathons, double triathlons, and he's currently prepping for a sub-3 marathon. Pretty phenomenal when you consider the mass that he's still at. So we hit the gym for the first time, and this is the very first workout we've done at all together. And my weakness is my absolute strength. He's obviously known for his absolute strength as well as everything else. So this one's gonna be interesting.
So we're here at Slevin, which is Vauxhall, I believe.
Correct.
We're gonna do an upper body session. Something I have been dreaming of. When you're in a block for, say, a marathon, unless you're someone like this bloke here, who is pretty much going into doing hybrid training right through to the end of his marathon block. Fergus is still lifting a little bit.
Yep.
So I stopped 3 to 4 weeks out from my actual marathon.
235 PB, is it?
Yeah. we going somewhere? Don't get too excited. Chill out. Chill out. Could be on for that.
Whenever you learn a new technique, you are definitely gonna feel a little bit uncoordinated. But watching Fergus set himself up underneath that bar and in the habit or the habitual nature that he does, following that and getting it through a few times, I really felt like I was putting as much force behind the bar. I'm definitely gonna take this technique home. You know, really locking the shoulders back and down, feeling like the back of my traps are up against the bench board as strong and as wide as possible, and I'm pushing all my weight essentially away from the floor as opposed to using my chest to just lift that bar up.
Your technique of getting into the bar, very intentional.
Yep.
Talk me through that.
So I powerlifted as my sole focus for 4 years, and one of the biggest things that I took away, like I was just saying, was make everything intentional, make everything have a purpose, make it repeatable, most importantly. So every single warm-up set, every single rep, ideally you want to be the same, just moving slower. That starts from how you walk up to the bar, what you're thinking about, where you put your fingers, what your process is for, okay, finger, head, breath, step, whatever it might be. For me, with the bench, I really just like to make my main focus digging my scaps into the bar, into the bench as much as possible, so that I'm tight, because you want to create an anchor point between your upper back and the ground, and almost create tension against that. You don't want your legs to be loose, because you're going to be bleeding a whole load of tension and therefore power and strength out of your feet this way. Yep.
Damn it! Fuck! I ran with such positivity. Fuck! How does running get easier? And you've heard it before. Running doesn't get easier, you just get faster. Same with lift. Like, any lift you do, you just get stronger. It doesn't get easier. What do we got?
The best tricep exercise in history. You can argue with me in the comments down below, but you won't win. Well, I won't.
Well, you actually
agree.
can, well, you could, because are you going to rebuttal?
No, I'm just going to call you a dick and say you're wrong.
So you're going to win.
Shoulder down to shoulder. Pull your lats in.
Oh, wow.
So what this will help drill you on is that upper back control. Because if you...
Are you backing down right now?
So, yeah, so scaps in, so control down to shoulder, like a skull crusher, lats fully stretched, press, and then up like that.
So do you get lat? Yeah. So you get lat extension at the very bottom. When it comes to the strength side, obviously you got some great techniques, particularly my bench, gonna have a lot to come away with that. So if you are like me and love learning from people, Fergus is also one of those people you should be learning from. He's got his unbelievable YouTube channel, which we'll link in the description, or you can just type in Fergus Crawley. Some couple of amazing tourist attractions here in London. Number one, double-decker red buses. Phenomenal. Number two, very public urinal. One thing, a place I love to go in London in particular is a place called Nando's.
Fergus is dialed in with everything, and that includes nutrition. So in discussing nutrition with him, everything he outlined was with intention, everything had purpose. He lives his life like me.
Put me through a typical day on a plate for Fergus.
There's more bowls than plates. I have 2 breakfasts. 3 breakfasts actually. I've been a bit more creative recently. So for many, many years, it's been 100 grams of oats, 1 scoop of whey protein, frozen raspberries, and then a dollop of Biscoff spread. So that's most of the year until I get bored of it or it gets a bit warm. And then I'll go to 500 grams of Greek yogurt because I'm the least lactose intolerant person in the world. I'm very lactose tolerant, in fact. And that's with frozen berries and some agave syrup, just because I prefer the taste to honey, and 30 grams of oats. Or bagel with scrambled eggs, or bacon, avocado, smoked salmon, that sort of thing. Those are kind of the 3 that I rotate. Lunchtime, I just get meal prep stuff. I've been using that for convenience a lot recently, so generally around 600 calories, 40 grams of protein, and then healthy balance of carbs and fats. I'll sometimes have 2 of those depending on training volume. Mid-afternoon will be similar to earlier in the morning, which is essentially just a easily accessible carb source ahead of session number 2. And then dinner will be 5% mince, chicken, or I mean, that's pretty much it actually. I haven't really had much else recently, with rice, pasta, potatoes, and some vegetables for the most part.
The man's definitely dialed in, obviously. He talks about this on his channel a lot, so you know he's got to be dialed in. I'm a big believer in those first meals, like getting ahead on your calories, like I always talk about with the 401k for hydration strategy in a marathon. Is like, get ahead, bank the calories early, because even if you have a mild session, you know, you're going to have a need for them late on the day, particularly if you're doing a double. Can I get a flat white and a long black, please, mate?
We got a beautiful day. Unfortunately, I'm injured, my ankle's busted, I can't train. But Fergus has his pace work, and he has to get that done.
So we're down at Battersea Park, which is about a 2.3k loop. So Fergus has done his warm-up, he's heading out, doing 1k efforts out and back. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna make sure I'm his timekeeper, which is actually a really hard job. Oh, we might have turned around by now. Any minute now. Come on, mate. It's not that hard. Atta boy. Atta boy. So far, he's 4 reps in, and his worst time is a 3:38, which is incredible considering he's only getting 60 seconds rest. It's not a lot of time. When you're thinking of these workouts, these 12x1s with a 60 second, it's meant to drop a little bit of the lactate, but keep the heart rate elevated, but still running at that capacity, at least, you know, threshold is tough. So if you're doing a workout leading into your marathon prep, a 12x1k is always awesome with a 60-second rest. I have about 9 minutes to write something for my newsletter before reps, so just taking advantage. I mean, this thing, 12x1s are tough, you know? You need to take advantage when you can. He's coming in for his 6th rep. Give us a time, Cap. We got
Reps 5 and 6. both at 3:39.
Let's go, baby.
But hurting now.
You are?
Halfway through.
Yeah, cool.
Breath. So, yeah, this rest is
Needed.
not long enough.
No. Do you want water? Do you have fluids?
I'm good for the time being, yeah.
This is the toughest type of, I believe, threshold session you will do in an entire training block. I did this with Nick and Luke, a few months back. I wasn't during peak week, but it definitely tested me. If you're looking to understand what your threshold pace is, you just notice Fergus coming back, he can only manage a few, phrases, and that's the point of what threshold pace should be. You can be able to sustain this between 45 to say 55, even 60 minutes, but you'll be dead afterward. It's pretty tough. Fergus Crawley.
Oh. Ouch.
5.
9 reps at threshold, missed threshold on rep. So rep 9 was 3:42.
Yep.
So I've canned it there. I'm just gonna hit reps at marathon pace now.
Cool.
Just because I felt like I dipped above threshold, musculoskeletal just started to feel the breakdown. So that's where I draw the line.
Yep.
One of the biggest things I've learned over the years with hybrid training is because you're managing multiple stresses at opposing ends of the spectrum. Auto-regulation and not letting your ego get in the way when it comes to planned sessions versus executed sessions is the biggest thing. Because day one of my peak week, the last thing in the world I want to be doing is letting my ego get in the way and burying me today, which is easy to do with cameras on and stuff. Nothing taught me the art of auto-regulation and death of ego more than the 500-pound back squat and sub 5 minute mile, because the unpredictability and challenge and systemic fatigue of balancing those two training goals meant at the start of the week you had the perfect plan on paper, and then by Wednesday you had to tear it all up and figure it out and adapt as you went. And if you thought, oh well, the plan's not working, I'm not moving in the right direction, rather than thinking, okay, what is working, what isn't working, what can I dial up, what can I dial down, only by abandoning the ego can you actually move forwards with these things.
There's a difference between quitting and adjustment to your goal. He had 12 by 1 as his genuine track workout today. He's adapted the session because he needed to, based on the fact that he knew through science that his body was over threshold. So he's not going to get the benefit of threshold training by where he was at. He's also got a big week, and that just takes a lot. It's a constant internal battle. That wraps up today's episode with the legend that is Fergus Crawley, so make sure you check out his content as well. I am learning so much from this series. That's why I love doing it. Doing 1K repeats is hard. No matter what speed you are going at, you are pushing yourself, and the way that Fergus adjusted his session just shows how dialed in he is. He knows his body, but I'm really impressed by him. I've enjoyed spending all the time and learning from him. And my hope is that with each episode on this series, you have one thing to take away. For me, definitely how not just to improve my bench press, but more importantly, how to activate my muscles and my nervous system to optimize each rep, which I can apply to every other muscle. So, huge claps for that with Fergus. And with that being said, next week's episode is truly special. We're off to somewhere in Europe. I'm gonna leave it on that. Ow!